You are sitting across from your friends, staring down at your coffee, listening to yourself defend the indefensible. They are looking at you with a mixture of pity and frustration. They just watched your partner disrespect you, humiliate you, or casually dismiss your feelings. They are asking you the question that haunts you every time you look in the mirror. Why do you put up with this? Why don't you just leave? You don't have an answer. You mumble an excuse. You tell them it's complicated. You say that they didn't mean it, or that they are just going through a hard time. But deep down, you feel a sickening, suffocating shame. You know you are being mistreated. You know you are shrinking yourself. You know that if you saw someone treating your best friend this way, you would be absolutely enraged. Yet, when the door closes and you are alone with this person, the anger dissolves into a desperate, hollow anxiety. The worse they treat you, the harder you try to fix it. The colder they get, the more desperately you cling to them. Society looks at this and calls you weak. They say you lack boundaries. They say you suffer from low self-esteem. But what if society is completely, fundamentally wrong? What if your inability to walk away has absolutely nothing to do with weakness and everything to do with a hijacked nervous system? What if you are not staying in spite of the bad treatment, but precisely because the bad treatment has chemically rewired your brain? Act 1. The myth of low self-esteem. The modern self-help industry has sold you a devastating lie about why people stay in toxic relationships. They tell you that you accept the love you think you deserve. They tell you that if you just loved yourself more, you would instantly pack your bags and walk out the door. This is incredibly insulting to the reality of your psychological prison. Many people who get trapped in abusive or highly toxic dynamics are actually incredibly strong, highly capable, and deeply empathetic individuals. Toxic people do not exclusively hunt for the weak. Predators hunt for the most abundant food source. They hunt for people who have a massive capacity for forgiveness, a high tolerance for pain, and an unrelenting desire to fix broken things. You do not stay because you think you are worthless. You stay because your empathy has been weaponized against you. When your partner treats you terribly, your first instinct is not to protect yourself. Your first instinct as a highly empathetic person is to understand them. You psychoanalyze their bad behavior. You look at their childhood trauma. You look at their current stress. You build a massive, elaborate defense attorney's case for why they are acting so cruelly. You convince yourself that if you can just be patient enough, if you can just love them perfectly enough, and if you can just absorb enough of their toxicity without breaking, you will eventually heal them. This is the psychological trap. By focusing all your intellectual and emotional energy on understanding their pain, you completely numb yourself to your own. You become so obsessed with being their savior that you fail to realize they are drowning you. But empathy is only the psychological hook. To understand why you physically cannot leave, we have to look at the brutal biology of bad treatment. Act 2. The poison and the antidote. In a healthy relationship, your partner is a safe harbor. The world outside is chaotic and stressful, but when you come home to them, your nervous system relaxes. But in a toxic relationship, the architecture is inverted. Your partner is not the safe harbor. Your partner is the storm. When they give you the silent treatment, when they lash out, or when they coldly devalue you, your brain does not register this as a simple disagreement. Your brain registers it as a literal threat to your survival. Your amygdala, the primitive alarm center of your brain, fires immediately. Your bloodstream is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your stomach drops into a state of absolute, sickening dread. You are thrust into a biological state of fight or flight panic. You are drowning in stress hormones. And when a human being is drowning, They do not care about long-term logic. They do not care about self-respect. The only thing the brain cares about is finding oxygen. It desperately seeks immediate relief from the unbearable anxiety. And here is the most sinister, manipulative mechanic of the entire dynamic. The person who caused your panic is the only person who can take it away. When your abuser finally breaks the silence, when they finally offer a slight apology, or when they suddenly pull you in and show you a glimpse of the warmth you have been starving for, the cortisol in your blood plummets. The panic evaporates. In its place, your brain releases a massive tidal wave of dopamine and oxytocin. The relief is so profound, so intensely euphoric that it feels exactly like true love. But it is not love. It is Stockholm Syndrome on a chemical level. Your brain makes a devastating neurological association. It forgets that they were the one who pushed you out of the airplane. It only remembers that they were the one who handed you the parachute. This is why bad treatment makes you stay. The bad treatment creates the severe biological deficit. It creates the starvation. It plunges you into the freezing cold so that when they finally offer you a lukewarm glass of water, your brain registers it as the greatest, most miraculous warmth you have ever experienced. If they were consistently kind, that glass of water would mean nothing. The bad treatment is literally the required setup to make their breadcrumbs of affection feel like a drug. You become addicted to the cycle of pain and relief. They have become both the poison and the antidote. Act 3. Betrayal, blindness, and the illusion of two people. As this cycle repeats, cruelty, panic, relief, euphoria, your brain realizes that the cognitive dissonance is too heavy to bear. You cannot simultaneously love someone and recognize them as a predator. It would shatter your sanity. So your brain deploys an emergency defense mechanism. In psychology, this is known as betrayal blindness. Betrayal blindness is a survival tactic where your subconscious actively blocks out, minimizes, or forgets the severity of the abuse in order to maintain the attachment you rely on for emotional survival. You literally split them into two different people in your mind. There is the real them, the person who is kind, the person you fell in love with, the person they are during the brief windows of peace. And then there is the stressed them, the monster who screams, ignores, and devalues you. When they are acting like the monster, you tell yourself, this isn't them. They are just in a bad place right now. You hold your breath, waiting for the monster to leave so the real them can return. You must shatter this illusion immediately. There are not two people. There is only one person, and that person is the entirety of their actions. The cruelty is not a glitch in their programming. The cruelty is the operating system. The warm, loving version of them is not their true self breaking through. It is simply the mask they wear when they need to reset the cycle and keep you on the leash. When you excuse their bad treatment, you are negotiating with your own destruction. You are telling your nervous system that it is acceptable to live in a war zone, as long as there is an occasional ceasefire. Look at what this is doing to you. You are exhausted. Your memory is foggy. You have lost interest in your hobbies. You have distanced yourself from your friends because you are tired of hiding the truth from them. You are shrinking your entire existence into a tiny, hyper-vigilant sphere, constantly monitoring their mood, trying to perfectly predict their triggers so you can avoid the next explosion. You are not living a life, you are managing a hostage situation. Act 4. The brutal architecture of escape. How do you walk away from a dynamic that has hijacked your biology? How do you leave when the very thought of separation triggers a massive, cortisol-drenched panic attack? You must stop treating this like a normal breakup. You must start treating it like a critical medical intervention for a severe chemical addiction. When you decide to leave, you are going to feel a profound, terrifying urge to go back. Your brain will lie to you, As the withdrawal sets in, your mind will suddenly erase all the screaming, all the disrespect, and all the cold nights. It will play a highlight reel of the best moments you shared. It will manufacture a crushing sense of guilt, whispering that you gave up too easily, that they are going to change, and that you are making the biggest mistake of your life. You must expect this lie. You must anticipate the withdrawal. When the panic hits you at 3 o'clock a.m. and your hands are shaking with the urge to check their social media or send that one last text for closure, you must recognize what is happening. That is not your soul crying out for its mate. That is your nervous system screaming for a dopamine hit. You do not need closure from the person who broke you. The disrespect was the closure. The bad treatment was the closure. The fact that you had to cry yourself to sleep while they slept perfectly fine is the only closure you will ever need. To break the trauma bond, you cannot negotiate. You cannot remain friends. You cannot have occasional check-ins. You must execute a complete, uncompromising, permanent severance. Block the number. Block the accounts. Remove their access to your reality. It is going to hurt. It is going to feel like the oxygen has been sucked out of the room. Let it hurt. Sit in the absolute center of the pain and outlast it. Do not run back to the poison just because you are thirsty. Your body will eventually recalibrate. Your nervous system will eventually realize that the lion is gone, the war is over, and it is finally safe to lower the shields. You are not broken. Your empathy is a gift, but it belongs to people who actually deserve it. Take your love, take your relentless loyalty, and take your massive capacity for healing and turn it entirely inward. Stop trying to fix them. Walk out of the burning house, lock the door, and let the illusion burn to the ground.